Week 5. Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? Hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. It's week 5 and we're feeling alive over here. It's been an unseasonably hot summer in New York, and I know that people who don't live in New York, who live in the South, who live in hotter climate places are like, suck it up, it isn't that bad. But for a northern gal like me, it's kind of freaking hot. So today I'm going to tell you all about my blazing hot week 5 of marathon training. Before we get started with all that, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 16K, bring it up a little bit. So any subscribe, any thumbs up, it all helps. So thank you. All right, so this week I ran a total of 31 miles, give or take like point something because of the 0.1 that I have to add to like half of my runs. So anyways, 31 miles we'll call it. Let's go down the list and see what I did each day. Monday was a rest day. Tuesday I did 6 easy. Wednesday was another rest day. Thursday was a speed workout of 6 miles, half mile easy, half mile at around a 7:35 pace. And we did that for all the 6 miles. Friday was 4 easy and Saturday was a rest day. And then Sunday, my long run was 15 miles with 12 easy and 3 at 8:50 pace at the end. 31 miles. So for Tuesday's run, the 6 miles easy, I ran it at an average pace of 10:37 per mile with a heart rate of 141 BPM. We like that, that's good. I was actually pretty consistent with pacing during this run. My first mile was my slowest and it was 10:46. Then I had a 10:34, a 10:36, a 10:36, a 10:34, and another 10:34. We love a 10:36 and we love a 10:34, apparently. This is the first time I'm really kind of like sitting down and looking at my stats here in terms of pacing and all that. But yeah, this is pretty consistent and that makes me happy because I feel like this heart rate training for me is like paying off. And I'm starting to feel comfortable in that realm, but also, which we'll get to, comfortable at slightly faster paces. Slightly. And it looks like the lowest my heart rate was 129 the first mile, of course, but the highest seems to be 146, which is pretty low. 141 is a pretty low heart rate for me. I'm usually like high 140s or like low 150s, it seems like. But I guess this day I was just feeling really good. Seems like Tuesday was a success. So let's talk about Thursday. That was my speed workout. Again, it was 6 miles and alternating half miles. So half a mile easy, then half a mile in the 7:35 pace range. This is supposed to be my run where I push myself to an uncomfortable zone and kind of see what that feels like and if I can stay uncomfortable. Well, not only was I uncomfortable, but the weather was uncomfortable. It was super, super hot. I mean, really hot. And again, the night before I had gone to bed really late because I was getting home from the city. So I didn't get as much sleep, but really that's not the problem. I just didn't wake up as early as I should have. So by the time I started running, it was well over 80 degrees and it was hot as hell. A couple things here that I did that are gonna be learning experiences for the future. The first one being that I started out way too fast. So first we'll go over kind of the overall stats. And so I did 6 miles at a 9:14 average pace. That's with the easy halves and with the tempo. And my heart rate averaged 165 BPM. But I think it would have been higher had I not stopped 50,000 times. It's so annoying that Strava doesn't give you the splits for your half miles. I hate that. So let's go to Garmin. First thing I did wrong was I started too late. The second thing I did wrong is that I started too fast. So my first interval, my first half mile up tempo was 7:32. Too fast. We don't need all that for the first half. So we went from 7:32 to 7:39 to 7:58 to 8:11 to 8:13 to 8:51. So I am gonna give myself a little bit of leeway here because it was hot, but by the time I had finished like 3 up-tempo half miles, I was cooked. Like literally and figuratively cooked. It was, I'm not gonna say it again, you know. By the time I got to my last half mile up-tempo little spurt, I was I was done for. I was a goner. I was dead as a doornail. I had nothing to give. I had no gas. So, lesson learned. Again, I gotta get up earlier so that I can beat the heat a little bit and not totally sabotage myself. And the second thing is I just can't start so fast. I really would love to see myself start slower and not hit the pace right away and kind of work down from that and hit the pace. So, another thing that I thought of that I probably should have done and might do in the future on a really hot day for a speed run is just bring my handheld water bottle that I bring with me on long runs. I mean, it's annoying to hold, but at least I would have had some water, some Gatorade, something, kind of like lift me up a little bit, give me an extra bit of energy and just liquids. It didn't go as great as I had hoped, but I am proud of myself for sticking with it, going the distance, getting like the distance under my legs at least. There are definitely some takeaways from that run. The next day, Friday, I had 4 easy. It went pretty well, except for the fact that it was incredibly humid yet again. I did manage to keep a 10:17 pace and my heart rate at 150 even. So I'm glad that I was able to keep my heart rate there and at a pace that I normally run at even when it's not blistering hot. My legs were definitely tired, but going easy like that feels really good to me right now, so I don't mind it so much. And after the first mile or so, my legs kind of get some life back in them. So let's move on to the long run. So this is the first long run in this training cycle where we've incorporated some faster, I wouldn't say speed work, but I would say slightly faster mileage in the workout. So what I did was 15 miles total, and the first 12 were easy, around, in my 10s, my 10:15s, my 10:20s, 10:30s, and then the last 3 were at an 8:50 pace. For 15 miles, I averaged a 10:15 pace, and I finished in 2:33:55, and my heart rate overall was 149 BPM. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was a rough day or a bad day for me, but it was very hot, and some points were both mentally and physically taxing because I'm running and there's no shade in certain parts, and I just feel it's like oppressive. Like I felt like the weather, like the heat was just like squashing me or like sitting on my shoulders at some points. And I brought my handheld water bottle with me, and I had a mix of Gatorade and water in it, and I had 3 gels. I only ended up having 2, but I had the honey flavors of the Honey Stinger. I'm starting to like those a lot. I might stick with those. Around 11 miles, I ran towards my parents' house and started calling into the window, begging my mother for cold water. Thankfully, she was awake, and she gave me some extra water, and I kind of went on my way before I started my more up-tempo miles. And my up-tempo miles were actually pretty good. I managed an 8:46, an 8:56, and an 8:49 for the last 3. Now, the first 2 miles of that I ran straight through. The last mile, I was done running. I was just totally toasted. I didn't want to run anymore. And I stopped before the mile to get my bearings. I stopped during the half mile point to get my bearings, and then I ran the last half mile straight through. It was starting to get like later, maybe like 10:30 a.m. at this point. So, it's not getting any colder out there. I was experiencing less and less periods of shade. And me, Kate, and Ariana were all laughing because we're all training for marathons. And we were all saying that we just go on people's lawns and just put our heads under their sprinklers. And I just let it just soak me. It's like survival out there. You gotta do it. And I know you guys are doing it too. But despite the last mile of me kind of like stopping a million times and just collecting myself, I'm pretty impressed that I was even able to hit those times. The entire time I'm doing the easy miles, like building up to those last 3, I'm thinking about it. And I'm constantly doubting myself. Even sometimes when you think you don't really have much left or you don't think you're gonna be able to do something, doesn't mean you can't and doesn't mean you won't. And I kind of surprised myself, honestly, because especially after the speed workout on Thursday where I was just like run out of gas, I could not go on a second longer. Like it was definitely a better feeling on Sunday. It didn't feel like a super tempo pace. It felt faster than what I was going, but it felt doable and it felt somewhat comfortable. And that is exciting. I would say that Sunday was a pretty big success for me, and I think that my training so far has reflected itself in Sunday. And I'm also not liking the heat, but it's a good training tool because training in humidity like this will really help me on race day, where it'll inevitably be cooler outside, sure, but if we have another unseasonably hot day like I did in Chicago and had a problem, maybe this time I'll be like a little bit more prepared for it. Hey everybody, my mom forgot to tell you what shoes that she wore during her runs this week. This is Ruby, by the way. On Tuesday she wore the Nike Pegasus 39. On Thursday, she wore the New Balance Super Comp Trainer. Sorry, I'm really tired. On Friday, she wore the Nike Pegasus 39 again. I really like this bone, by the way. And on Sunday, she wore the New Balance Super Comp Trainer. If you want to check out her video on the Pegasus 39, she didn't really like it, but we'll link it below. Or we'll link it right here. I don't really know. I'm not a YouTuber. That's my mom. Okay, bye. Thanks. Well, everyone, that concludes my week 5 recap of Suffolk County Marathon training. I almost said Chicago Marathon. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. I have another video for you on Sunday, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller. See you next time. For this video, do you want to tell them what shoes I'm wearing? It's very simple. You just have to tell them what I wore Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. But I'm going to need you to kind of wake up a little bit because you can't look so tired. Hello? You ready?